I'm Maeve. I moved here to Celbridge about 6 months ago, and in the last 6 months I've basically got into activism. So I'm a vegan activist and a climate activist, and I guess I've invited you here today because I recently heard a study, the IPCC study, that's the International Panel on Climate Change, and they said we have 10 to 12 years to combat the climate change, because after that it'll be irreparable damage and basically a climate disaster for humanity. We're heading into the 6th mass extinction for humanity. Animal agriculture contributes to more environmental damage than all transport combined. So being vegan is a great step people can take.
Do you think everybody should be vegan, or do you think everyone should cut down on meat?
It's far too much to ask everyone to go vegan, but the EAT study came out recently, that's the EEAT study, and said that globally we need to reduce our animal intake by 90%. So, I mean, if you've grown up like me eating animals your whole life, I can't ask you to give all that up, but we need to make a drastic change. And it's getting easier and easier in Ireland. Like, there's lots of vegan restaurants, there's lots of vegan options. You can get vegan ice cream, vegan meats in Tesco's now. So it's getting easier. It's kind of a future that I just don't think we can even imagine.
And talking about the future, well, you have a child.
No, I have a niece.
Right, a niece, and that's one of the main reasons you'd be worried about, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not worried for me. You know, it's not my generation that's going to be affected. She just turned 1, and so she'll be turning 12 as we hit that IPCC deadline. And I just don't want to have to look at her in her teenage years and go, we did nothing, you know.
There will be a lot of listeners who will probably hear you and they'll probably think, eco-warrior, and she's just a bit out there, and they won't agree.
I'm not an eco-warrior. I'm just somebody who was sunbathing 2 weeks ago and in the same week driving through snow. Like, it's actually happening to us.
Are the government doing enough when it comes to tackling climate change in Ireland?
Well, up to now, no. And we do have a piece of legislation that was introduced in about 2013, 2014, but it was introduced without any targets. So it was a very weak piece of legislation that was introduced by the last government. And that's part of the reason why we haven't met targets, because we didn't set targets. At the Public Accounts Committee, I asked, for example, because we do have carbon taxes already. If you look at your utility bill, you'll see that. But what is the point in having carbon taxes if they just go into a general fund for, spending on health or education, are not dedicated to actually the whole climate issue?
Yes, so do you think it should be a tax that should then help tackle climate change at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, we're an island. We have we have an ocean out there as well. And wind and wave, blue energy, as opposed to green energy, is something that is not at a point where it's going to deliver, but it will deliver in the future. And in actual fact, we could end up being a massive exporter of fuel.
And do you think the government are taking it seriously enough at the minute?
Well, let's see the outcome of this committee, as I say, which is due. But up to now, no.
And do you think people in general are taking it seriously enough when it comes to tackling climate change?
Well, we saw recently with the students, a generation that are going to pick up, the pieces on this in relation to this generation not doing stuff.
I think a lot of it comes down to education? Because I know when I was at school, we weren't really educated about recycling and stuff, and now we see this new generation coming through who are so passionate about it.
I think there's a real willingness if there's leadership given. I think that definitely has to happen. But Maeve is right. It has to be not exclusively government. It has to be NGOs. It has to be individuals. And the media most certainly have a role to play. So how you deliver on things has to find public acceptance as well. And that's what you have to look at doing on a political level. It's exactly the same in relation to what will be the energy solutions that are sustainable, that will be acceptable into the future. And as I say, I think there's more than onshore energy. Offshore energy is something that I think that is really got an exciting future for us if we really engage with it. But it does require significant investment.